I want to talk about the peace deal, PIECE, that Steve Witkoff has been pursuing and Marco Rubio's role in it. I've got bad news for you. Marco Rubio is the good guy in this scenario, and Marco Rubio is the one person, by all appearances, who stands between us and the end of the Western Order and the dismemberment of Ukraine. What Witkoff has been doing, what Kirill Dmitriev has been doing, basically his handler, has been getting the very same peace deal, PIECE, before Donald Trump over and over again. It was there in February when Trump said to Zelensky, you don't have any cards. It was there in August when they all went to Alaska together. It's back again. And what Dmitriev has been doing has been using Witkoff to funnel it to Trump each time with fewer people pushing back in the room. And Marco Rubio may be the only one who is pushing back in the room at this point at all. The way it was rolled out is Dmitriev leaked it. It was listed as an American peace deal. Marco Rubio was like, WTF. Marco Rubio, and this is important, got on the phone with some senators. Mike Rounds is one of them, and said, not our deal. And in fact, if you look at the deal, it's clearly translated from Russian, which is something Witkoff keeps doing. He keeps refusing to use American translators. And in one case, there was a Russian spy who was his quote unquote translator rather than bringing an American one. Insanely stupid man, but venal and so perfect for Russia's purposes. In this case, it seems like Dmitriev has added Jared Kushner to the group of people who are pushing this on Trump. J.D. Vance has been there from the beginning. So J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. And so Marco Rubio finds out about it, tells Mike Rounds, not our peace deal. And then almost immediately the State Department is like, it is our peace deal. That's not true. But by claiming it is, Marco Rubio got himself in that with the Europeans, put together some kind of counteroffer, some kind of alternative deal, which hopefully will kind of float out there for a little while. Russia, of course, will not engage it because it's less than the peace deal, PIECE deal that was their starting point. And then Congress comes back from Thanksgiving, and at a moment when Trump is losing his untethered sway over the Republicans in Congress, we may be able to do something about it. And this is the really important detail. Marco Rubio, again, went to Mike Rounds. Mike Rounds went to the public, said, not our peace deal. There are a significant majority of senators who support a strong sanctions package on Russia. It's close to a majority. I mean, it's close to all of them. It's, let's just say 75, 80 people. It's probably more than that. Brian Fitzpatrick and Don Bacon, two of the Republicans in the House who most support Ukraine, have started the process of putting in a dispatch petition for basically the same sanctions deal on Russia. And if we can get back from Thanksgiving and start that process, a process, by the way, which is what just happened with the Epstein files, is that Tom Massey was able to get a dispatch petition, and once it passed, the Senate passed it overwhelmingly. Trump may not sign sanctions on Russia. But the important part of getting people back and showing that there are at least 208 people who support Ukraine in the House and that there is a supermajority of people who support Ukraine in the Senate, the important part of that is showing a crucial vote total to Donald Trump. And by the way, it happens to be the very same vote total that you would need to impeach Donald Trump or J.D. Vance if you want to do that. In other words, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I am not saying that Donald Trump is getting impeached because he keeps trying to capitulate to Russia. What I am saying is, if you come back from the break and you show Donald Trump that there is enough people to steal the gavel from Mike Johnson, from his flunky in the House, whether temporarily or permanently, steal the gavel from him, pass sanctions, send it to the Senate, large majorities in the Senate, then you have a position where Trump cannot act alone without Congress. Until then, Marco Rubio is doing whatever he can to be in the room. Again, they bypassed him at the start here. This was a done deal until Marco Rubio got involved and pulled Europe together and started negotiating this counter deal. But it may also happen that Marco Rubio gets fired over this. JD Vance can't get fired, right? He whatever, American voters voted him in with Donald Trump, both stupid decisions. Marco Rubio could be fired by tweet by noon today. But what Marco Rubio has succeeded in doing is stay in that room long enough to stave off this deal, to negotiate a counter proposal, which then leads Russia to not accept a deal. I don't know where it's going to go. Again, Marco Rubio could be fired by noon. 218 in the House and a supermajority in the Senate could say, no, don't do this, Donald Trump. But that's where we're at. Marco Rubio stays in the room. He can buy us time. Marco Rubio gets fired by noon. Doesn't happen.